Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Look what I'm having. This is my favorite thing to have when I come to the village. I'm at the village. I like to call this my farmhouse. So I'm at the village and I'm enjoying my favorite thing. We call this maize. Americans call it corn. In my country we call it maize because we use British English. My name is Andrew and I am from a country called Kenya in East Africa. Very tasty. Very tasty. And you know what? I'm so happy I'm having this from my own farm. I just got it from my farm. I'm going to take you, I think I took you to my farm the other time. In my other video, I took you to my corn farm. And I showed you how it looks like. I know some of you, of course, you know how corn looks like. But I'm so happy. This is my favorite thing to have when I come to the village. My favorite. Let me show you. I'm actually roasting it already. So that is my house at the background. Not yet finished. I'm still building it. I'm going to show you some time soon, but this is how we do it in Africa. This is how we roast corn. Actually, I was so missing this thing. I started eating this one. I started eating this one before it was ready. No, I started eating it when it was half ready, that is. So, I was eating it and putting it back to the jiko. This is jiko, this one. The one I'm using to roast it, and I'm using charcoal to do that. I'm sure you know how charcoal is done. Some people in the village, they will use firewood. Those firewood, we call them jikos. So some people would use firewood to roast the corn, but others use the charcoal and the charcoal jiko like this one. Jiko is Swahili word for stove. So this is a charcoal stove. So this is how you do it, and I'm so excited. I'm having corn straight from my farm. That's my other part. This compound, this home. I'm still constructing my home here. So there's a lot of things I need to do, like I need to plant grass. I've planted some flowers and some plants, but there's a lot of work to be done here. I'm gonna do some videos while we are doing that. But yeah, I'm having corn. In this section, I have planted quite a bit of trees, a lot of trees actually. I love tree planting very much. It's a passion of mine. I actually have a tree nursery at home in this farm, and I'm going to show you at some point. So yeah, I believe in taking care of the environment, and because of that I have planted a lot of trees. Actually, just have a look. You see all those? A lot of trees. And in this particular section, I have planted them right in the farm, and there is a reason why I planted them here. One of the reasons is because my plan is for this to become a fruit orchard, and the main fruit here is oranges, and then there's another section I want to be planting avocados. And so these trees, they act as wind breakers. Yeah, these trees, that's why I planted them in line like this. They become wind breakers, so that when it is time for flowering, those flowers, the wind does not bring the flowers down, because flowers are very important. It's the flower that becomes the fruit. You know, that flower becomes a fruit. So planted them like that. Like this is a whole area, and then we have more. Yeah. And as you can see, I have a lot of corn. Corn is all over the place. I have a lot of corn all over the place. If you visit me during corn season, I can tell you, most likely I'll now personally, most of the time I spend in Nairobi, but I have to keep coming to visit, to see my farm, my other home. Look at that. See those trees? All that long line of trees. These ones, they act as wind breakers. Yeah, they act as wind breakers. Once the orange trees are big enough and they start flowering, then the trees break wind so that the flowers don't come down. It's very, very important, because somebody might not know why I planted those trees like that. There is a very real reason. They act as wind breakers. For the oranges, especially when it's time to flower, when they start flowering. Very important. Very, very important. And by the way, talking about the trees, I have planted, you see those trees there, the ones I've just shown you. I have planted thousands of them in this farm. Thousands of them. I planted so many thousands of them in this farm. Because like I've told you, I love tree planting. But what I'm usually thinking when I'm planting them, I'm either planting trees for beauty, or I'm planting them to harvest them. So I usually plant my oranges in different, I don't know, how do I say it? I usually plant it in different portions. I have a whole bigger vision of having a big orchard, a very large orchard, several acres orchard, but I usually plant them depending on my strength, how much I can do at a given time. Sometimes I'll plant like 100 at once, and then I take like 6 months or so, and then I'll plant more. So because of that, I have different sizes of orange plants in my farm. Like these ones are much bigger, and I just harvested some times ago. And so you can notice there are still some one or two just little orange fruits, but not so much because I just harvested. And you know, even when you harvest, you don't harvest everything at the same time. Some of them are not ready. So, but I also have mangoes. Look at that. I have mangoes in my farm. This is a mango plant. This is not the main fruit that I want to do in my farm, but it's very common in my region to plant mangoes. So I have some mangoes also. I have a variety of fruits. I have some apple plants also in my farm, but not so many of them. but like I told you in one of my videos, the main thing I want to farm in this, in this farm of mine is either oranges or avocados. See, like this one has fruits and they are not ready. Yeah. Also, this one has actually more fruits. Hey, I did not realize this was pixie. Yeah, this is it. This is pixie plant. I didn't realize. Alright. Because the oranges are different. But the first ones I ever planted were different variety. But majority, most of what now I plant is pixie. Pixie oranges.